Hello, everyone, and thanks again for staying with us here for the 2024 edition of the Trinidad and Tobago Energy Conference. We are broadcasting from the Hyatt Regency here in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. We have over 800 delegates, about 15 different countries, over 83 different companies also exhibiting here in the exhibition hall, which, of course, you can come down and join us and take a look at it if you're in Port of Spain and see it. As we were telling our guests earlier, we've had many stakeholders drop by and have some conversations with us. Joining us right now are two gentlemen from Taqa. Gentlemen, let's first start. Tell us your names, who you are, where you're coming from. I know Jason Cox and Greg Dowdy, maybe new faces to the Trinidad energy scene, but they're not new faces to energy in general. Let's start.
Yeah, I'm Greg Dowdy, the Director of Marketing for Taqa Drilling and Drilling Services, based in Houston, Texas. I spend probably 50% of my time elsewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. So my name is Jason Cox. I'm the sales rep for Taqa Completions and Taqa Drilling, and I'm based in Port of Spain, Trinidad.
So tell us about Taqa. The Taqa brand. Why is Taqa a company to watch?
So Taqa is the National Energy and Industrialization Services Company of Saudi Arabia. We were formed in 2004. In 2019, we undertook new management under the direction of Khalid New. And we really altered the shape of the company from kind of an industrial company to an upstream oil and gas services company. So through multiple acquisitions over the last 4 to 5 years, we now encompass the full suite of oil field services, from geophysical surveying through drilling, completions, production facilities, coil tubing, wireline, frac, cementing, really the whole gambit, in order to compete directly with the Halliburtons and Schlumbergers in the Middle East, to compete with the big guys, right? In places like the Caribbean and places outside of the Middle East, we're a technology company. So through the acquisition of Cougar Drilling Solutions, Tendeca Lower Completions, and Target Well Intervention, we now have a full suite of technologies that we can provide to service companies and operators in regions such as the Caribbean to help them drill more efficiently and complete their wells more effectively, all, as Jason mentioned, for...
Is that where you're seeing the opportunity and what you're targeting? What are you targeting in the Caribbean region, and what do you want to see coming out of this conference? How would it benefit you and Taqa?
Well, I mean, the target is, as you know, we've had a curtailment of production in Trinidad, and there's a lot of effort to increase that production. Sometimes the technologies aren't always available, and we're trying to bring those technologies to the Caribbean. There's a lot of investment in Taqa in technology. As Greg would have said, we're a technology company everywhere else, other than in the Middle East. And those technologies are some smarter and cheaper ways to improve production and therefore drive the economy.
So there's been a laundry list of very positive developments in the Caribbean, in the local energy sector. We've seen the Atlantic restructuring completed. We've seen the license signed for the Dragon gas field. We've seen the deep water exploration blocks, production sharing contracts being signed. Shallow. Where does Taqa fit into all of this, and where's the opportunity that you're looking for?
I would, there are definitely some really good developments coming up. A lot of our technologies, at least on the completion side, it's remedial. So some of the older wells that might have lower production, and you need to increase that production because the reservoirs still has potential. Just because of sand or water cut, you can't get the potential out of it. So we have some technologies to improve that, and you can get more production out of existing wells that might not be as smart as the newer wells. The newer wells are going to come with all new gauges and all the bells and whistles, so we can target that. On the drilling side, I think with the new developments you have in different reservoirs different types of dysfunction, whether you can't get the torque transfer to the bit properly, or you're not getting the weight on the bit it's going to cause downtime, increase costs. And increased cost is never good for a drilling program, because of course you're trying to recover that cost at the end. So our drilling tools and our drilling technology is to try to reduce wear and tear on the tools, on the BHA, which is the bottom hole assembly of the drill string, and to drill better wells, save money, and of course more money saved in drilling is better for the companies and better for everyone involved, the shareholders, and of course the shareholders, which is quite important as well.
You talk about drive for growth in the region. What do you see? What are your priorities in driving this growth in the Caribbean? What are your next steps?
So next steps for us, we're kind of new here in the Caribbean. We actually had sold a bunch of tools into the Caribbean in the 90s and then kind of went away for a while. So right now our big priority is to bring some new technologies. So as Jason mentioned, a lot of the new bottom hole assemblies of today include things like rotary steerable systems and log and wall drilling tools that are incredibly sensitive to things like shock and vibration. And when those tools fail, they're very high cost associated. So we can provide technology solutions to help mitigate those dysfunctions and vibrations to help protect some of that high-end equipment here. On the completion side, as Jason mentioned, we have some really cool remedial technology that's part of our suite that we believe we can reduce some of the sand input and water flood and all that kind of stuff, as well as some downhole gauges that are going to be that can be implemented offshore and some of the higher end deep water wells. So really our goal is to bring the new technology like it.
What are some of the other countries you're operating in the region?
In the region or globally?
In the region, in the Caribbean region.
So we are trying to make some inroads. Of course, Guyana is a hot topic when it comes to this region. So we have been having some conversations there and some other conversations in Suriname. So we are actively speaking to operators in all three countries. And there's been a lot of interest, again, because they've had challenges and not having cost-effective ways to address them. And that's where I think our niche is. So I think we recently sold some tools in Trinidad, and we're kind of hoping that once we get the technology proven and people are comfortable, and we get a little more sales, obviously.
Finally, the theme of this year's conference is accelerating action. What are some of the obstacles to accelerating action that you are encountering?
Well, that's an easy one. New technology always has a learning curve.
Yeah.
Once you're talking new technology, people tend to be a little bit pensive. Some of the technologies are fairly recent, as in we have tools in development as we speak. And you introduce some of those tools and the people have a lot of questions. You might not have as much run time as some of the existing tools. But because we spend so much money in R&D, we actually have labs where we test these tools extensively. And because of that, we can stand behind our equipment. In fact, our process is to have a discussion with the engineers, understand what your issue is, send that back to the lab, run the tests. We'll come back and tell you, based on our analysis, this is either going to work for you or it's not going to work for you. And if we say it's going to work for you, we stand behind that.
All right, Taqa, one of the companies to watch coming out of the 2024 edition of the Trinidad and Tobago Energy Conference. Thank you very much, Director of Marketing, Greg Dowdy and Jason Cox in sales. We'll be right back. Stay with us.